Hi, everybody. Dr. Charlton here. I want to talk about this discovery project. Hopefully, it's going well for you. I just want to just clarify a few things for you, hopefully make it run smoother and better. So first of all, this is the second part of the client project. And the way it fits in is at this stage, you're kind of open-minded. You're looking at a lot of different ideas of how you can maybe figure out exactly what is the client's problem and how could you solve it. So that's the idea. So, in light of that, we do a lot of research during this stage. So, I'm going to go through what you could maybe expect to put. There is some flexibility around this, like what you would actually put in the discovery project when you turned in. But I'm going to go through some of the key things that you'll want to include. And if your project is a little bit different, you can flex it to suit your needs. So first of all, when it comes to the formatting of the slide, check out the Working with Real World Clients book. Um, in the back of it, in the appendix, there's a client report format, and you want to follow that. So the main thing about the client report is slides should be interpretable without a presenter. There's a lot more detail to it, but I think it's spelled out better in the guide. So I'll just refer you to that and keep moving with my slides here. So here's a really good question that a lot of people have kind of wanted to know. And so I'm trying to make this a little more clear for everybody. What should be on the slides? So, first of all, you do have, at this stage, you do have, or you should have some kind of proposed solution. Even if it's not really solid, you have some idea of kind of what you're going to do. Like maybe you propose that they hire an intern and you're trying to work out all the details of who they hire, how they hire them, what this intern's going to do, how they recruit them, how they manage them, etc. So maybe that's kind of your idea. So you'll want to have at least just like one slide to really quickly say, like, recall that this is our tentative idea, because your research is really going to, what research you do really depends on kind of what your preliminary idea is, because you don't want to limit yourself to that. It could change, but you want to have a starting point where you can say, like, our idea is to hire this intern. So then we think, who do we interview? Maybe we interview, instead of customers or donors or whoever, maybe we interview potential um, interns, or maybe we interview people who've done interns in the past. And then the questions are kind of like, what made you want to do this intern? What would attract you to an internship? What, how much guidance do you think you would need if you're going to be doing social media type stuff or whatever the task may be? So, you're going to interview this person, and um, you know, I'm not going to go over a lot about how to do these interviews here, because you need to refer back to the um, and actually I have another slide on interviews, so I'm just going to leave it right there and come back to that. But you're going to basically have two types of slides about interviews. One type of slide would be kind of the customer profile, like it tells me who did you interview. And it'd be great if you could get it all on one slide for all of the people that you interview, and just kind of describe who these people are, maybe what's their average age, where they live, their relevant demographics. And so that I can see that, yeah, the people you interviewed, that makes sense. These are people, for example, um, if the thing that you're selling is, for example, yachts, if you're selling like super expensive high end products, and you're interviewing students in your fraternity, it's not exactly the right demographic, right? And so with this slide, you can show like, hey, we're interviewing only wealthy people that would be interested in and can afford this product. So then that makes a lot more sense. So then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So that's the first type of slide, is this profile kind of slide. The second type of slide is the actual data. And you should probably have several slides of this for the interviews. You can get some cool quotes in there. I want you to look for common themes that emerge. Do you hear the same things over and over, or did something that somebody said really stand out to you and make an important point? So you're going to have slides with cool quotes. You're going to have slides with that highlight common themes that emerged. And maybe you could, your title could maybe be this common theme that emerged. And then on that slide, you could have a couple of quotes from different people that relate to that. So this is what you're going to basically have. You have your profile slide or slides that shows me who you talk to, and then you have your slides, that identify common themes or really important points, and that's going to be the title. And then you're going to have a quote or two in there from different people. So the next type of slide that you're going to have is the systematic reviews. So systematic reviews, the typical result is a table, a data table. But you're also going to you could have a screen grab of a tweet, for example. If you did a systematic analysis of tweets, why not show some exemplar tweets that really make the point you're trying to make? If your point is that the tweets this brand is putting out are really boring, and you want to show like a more fun and exciting tweet, then show an example of that, right? Ideation is part of the discovery project, or part of the discovery process, but that's not actually necessary for the slide deck. You could include it if you find it really relevant or interesting, but you don't really have to include anything about ideation. We're mainly just focused for this slide deck for the turn-in. It's mainly about the research itself. So let's talk about in-person interviews. You're going to do 2 to 5 interviews with potential customers. You're going to follow the Talking with Humans protocol. So again, just to recall a few points about talking to humans. I mean, the idea is to understand their buying process. You want to get real stories. You want to avoid the hypothetical. So I like to start often with, take me back to a time when you first started thinking about buying this product, or recall a recent donation that you made. Tell me about that process. When did you first find out about this, donation opportunity? And what was it about this organization or their need that touched your heart, that made you want to donate some money? And so you really want to dig in there and pick that apart and see what you can learn about how people go through this buying process in this category. You want to learn new things. If you're not really learning anything new that you didn't already know, you're probably not doing it right. So I would suggest really digging into the Talking with Humans book and learning that method. It's a very short book. It's very simple. I also put out a video about it a while back, so check out the video. But just make sure that you're really going deep and getting deep insights. Systematic reviews. So essentially, we're doing 2 types of research for this. We're doing the in-person interviews, which is going to be often remote, but it can't be like a email back and forth. It needs to be like talking to them, hopefully like through somewhat face-to-face or over the phone if necessary, but you need to actually like interview them, not just send questions back and forth, in order to get at the insights that we need to do. So then we're going to go to systematic reviews. This is the second type of research we're going to do at this stage. So we want to identify some relevant data. We're going to look at online reviews, social media chatter, search engine optimization characteristics, website features, maybe how prominent is the donate button, how difficult or easy is it to navigate. If you could compare, somehow systematically compare and rate different websites. This one is the easiest to navigate because it has this. It's the hardest, however you want to do it. You're going to put together some kind of table comparing the client with their peers. Okay. And you want to, hopefully it will show some kind of patterns. It's not going to be a useful table if there's no patterns identified. Here's a quick example. In online reviews, people complain about the wait times at your restaurant, but they don't complain about this at peer restaurants. Now, if they complained about the wait times at every restaurant, including all of the peers, then it's just something that goes with the territory. But if it's something specific about this restaurant, then it's like, hey, you need to address that because um, people don't want to or don't expect to wait that long for their food. They don't have to wait that long for their food at other restaurants that you compete with. So you want to include benchmark data. For example, you have 3.5 stars in Yelp. Your peer in the same industry, they have 4.2 stars. But if you stop there, there's not really any learning. It's just like, it's kind of hopeless, right? It's like you're just telling the client you're garbage. But if you can diagnose why, so if you can continue to collect data, like look through the reviews, try to understand why they're getting dinged so much. Which reviews, if they went away, would cause the stars to go up. What about, Pier 1? Look at their reviews. Do they have any really positive reviews where if you had those same reviews, your overall reviews would go up? And then what patterns emerge? Are there consistent themes? Is it about service? Is it about food quality? What is the difference? Do they actually ask people for reviews? I mean, do they go out, like, are they more aggressive in asking people to go on Yelp? So there's things like this where we can go beyond just comparing, oh, you have 3.5 and they have 4.2, but actually diagnosing why there's the discrepancy. And that's what we want. And I have an example of that right here. This is an example of a systematic review slide. So you can see here, this is a search engine optimization comparison. And I have my client here, which is Care ETC in the first row. And then I compare them to 3 peers and how they show up on Google. And my argument here is they would rank higher if it was more clear what they do. Their keyword density is too low. So their keyword of on-site clinic, the keyword, I guess, um, it's like a keyword phrase, is not used on their website the same way it is on the competitor websites. So that leaves Google confused about what exactly it is that they do. So even though according to, let's see, where did I get this data from? Ahrefs, Ahref, according to them, your domain rank is 46, which is better than all of these peers. And you have a lot of backlinks, but where you could really improve is in the area of keyword density. And then because then Google knows what you do, and then they can help you, rank higher for those keywords. They don't know what keywords you want to rank high for. So you need to clarify that for them. And so I have the benchmarking data, which is, of course, over here, the Google rank for on-site clinics query. And so that's helpful, but alone this is useless because they already know they don't rank number 1 and they're frustrated about it. So you need to add you need to give them the why. So now all of a sudden they know what they can do. They don't have to go after better backlinks, even though, well, that story isn't told very well here. The reality is their backlinks are better quality. So I could actually improve this table maybe by removing the backlink or having a different metric here, because they do look worse at backlinks here, but actually the reality when I looked at it is their backlink quality was actually better than these other ones. So hence their domain rank is higher. So this column actually does kind of confuse it, but this column is what I want them to see. Like, you have a great domain rank, so Google, is going to rank you high, but they don't know what to rank you high for. So you need to get those keywords in there on the page. So this kind of tells them what they need to do. And it's so simple. All they got to do is just add, go back to and look at that page and add a few more mentions of clinic and a few more mentions of on-site, and then their ranking should go up. So I not only tell them where they're at with the benchmarking, but I also, pick it apart and diagnose it, which is much more helpful than benchmarking alone. So this is a good example of what I would like to see for kind of a systematic review or a systematic analysis. A nice clean table that shows how they can improve and how they can emulate peers that are being successful, and they can even take it to the next level. Anyway, that's all I've got for the discovery project. Hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions for it about it, let me know. But basically, just a really quick review here. what should be on the slides, maybe a one slide that kind of gives an overview of your project and your idea. And then you're going to go through the interview slides, which, hopefully you're going to have like maybe one slide that has your customer, the people you interview, a profile of them that kind of summarizes who they are and what their demographic is, and kind of shows me why they're a good fit for this particular project, like why they're the perfect target customer, essentially is the question. And then you're going to have slides that go through and say, what did they say? What common themes emerge? I could see like maybe 3 slides. Each has a title that's like either a common theme that's emerged or an interesting point that came out of one interview. And then below that, you'll have quotes. If it's a theme, you might have like 3 quotes from different people kind of hitting on the same theme. And then you're going to go onto your systematic reviews. These should be kind of data tables. Hopefully, they'll be related to your idea and they'll help move along your main point. So, like, for example, if your idea is that they need a new website design, you're going to want to collect data that's relevant to website design. You can compare them to other peer websites. What do the other peer websites have that they don't have? If your idea is internships, you could collect data on internships, like how much do people typically pay for these, internships, where, how much does it cost to post the internship listing? How much, how many, it could be like how many interns you think are, on the market versus how many job listings. So you're just going to go through and collect data that you can put into a table that's helpful for the client as they go forward with this project and making decisions. And again, ideation, we talk about ideation during the discovery process, but you don't necessarily have to include that in these slides. Hopefully that makes it clear. Any more questions, let me know. And hope you all have a good rest of your day and take care. Thanks.